Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and episode number 15 of my F1 2016 Ferrari career mode. And as you can see, we're here for the Singapore Grand Prix, one of the most beautiful events on the calendar. Now, as you can see, our R&D engineers come up to us and let us know that the new upgrade for the engine has been acquired and fitted onto the car for this race. That's going to give us a couple of extra brake horsepower in the back of that Ferrari car. But one thing I want to mention before I go into this video is I've got to say, in terms of the R&D development, it didn't pop up on my screen at all on the laptop, so I can't show you. But for some reason, Red Bull seem to have gained a massive amount on Mercedes, and they are on par with Mercedes now, and they've actually pulled away from us, even though we've been upgrading every single race. So a bit of a strange situation there. Red Bull sort of making a big push towards the front. But as you can see, moving into practice now, and we absolutely smashed the track acclimatization test, and we do the exact same thing in the tyre wear test. Now we beat the first target of 60 points, and then we move later on, 2 laps later, and we actually managed to smash the secondary target of 80 points for the tyre wear test. And overall, a pretty successful practice session, which does get capped off by a very successful qualifying test, where we also get the full 50 points, even though at the time I thought I only got 30 because I only beat the secondary target. I thought of 5th place, but for some reason that's what the team wanted, so I managed to get the target, and that was basically all 150 points that I could get in the bank, and that's going to go straight to the resource points folder. Now obviously, like I said, I'm going to try and keep developing this car, because there's no point in me ceasing development on the Ferrari, because I'm trying to go for the World Drivers' Championship, and I'm going to be leaving Ferrari no matter what at the end of the season. So it makes zero sense for us to try and not upgrade the car. But anyway, we're going to focus on the video now. And as you can see, we're in qualifying right now. And in Q1, as you saw, they managed to get through an intermediate. So I left it very late in the session, and I went out right at the end as soon as the flag dropped. And we got a lap in an intermediates to get through comfortably into Q2. And the same logic applied in Q2. With 20 seconds left on the clock, we cross the line, and we're the first person to do a lap on dry tyres. And we go straight to the top of the timing sheet. And I can tell you, my lap was actually very poor. I did a very slow lap on purpose to try and go as slow as I possibly could. And as you can see, we get through in P7 there, and a couple of knockouts there with Rosberg, Raikkonen, and both of the Red Bulls getting knocked out in Q2 there. But like I said, I took a very easy lap there, didn't push whatsoever in Q2 to try and save the tyres for the race. But in Q3, I did push a little bit harder, and we managed to go 2 seconds faster in Q3, and that lap was good enough for 2nd place, just behind Lewis Hamilton. And that's exactly where we're going to line up for the grid in the race tomorrow, because me and Hamilton were the fastest 2 guys in Q3, and the only 2 who could realistically compete for pole position. So overall, a pretty solid qualifying session, and we get 2nd place behind Lewis Hamilton, and he had the pace on the day, and I couldn't really match him, so it's going to be a tall order to try and beat him in the race. But hopefully we could try and get something out of it, and try and get ourselves maybe another win on the board, or at least another podium. So without further ado, we're going to jump right to the Singapore Grand Prix, and let's see if we can try and get some solid points on the board. So here we are then for the race, and you guys would have seen that it was quite a tasty and interesting qualifying session there. We get ourselves on the front row alongside Mr. Lewis Hamilton. Now, overall things are looking good this race. I've decided to not cease development for the rest of the season, so we're just going to keep developing this Ferrari until the last race, because I'm not going to stay at Ferrari for Season 2. So I'm going to be moving teams no matter what for Season 2. So to me, there is no interest in seizing R&D when I'm trying to fight for the World Championship. So we're going to fight for the World Championship here, and maybe, you know, if we get a good enough cushion, we can seize R&D a little bit earlier. But for now, we're going to keep developing the car until the last race of the season. Now, as you can see, this is the strategy we're going to be running this race. I've modified the original strategy, which was a ultra soft, super soft, to a 1-stop, which is running the soft tyre. Now, I'll see what happens. Normally, I'm not very good at sticking to my strategies, so if I feel like I can run maybe a different set of tyres, depending on what Hamilton's doing in the race, then maybe I'll run maybe a super soft instead, or maybe even another ultra soft. So it's going to be all up in the air until the pit stops occur. So we're just going to jump right into the race here, and fingers crossed we can try and beat Lewis Hamilton and try and win the Singapore Grand Prix, and also our 3rd race in a row, I believe. Right, here we go then. We're going to gear up to the 5 red lights. For some reason, my LED dash has glitched out and it's not working. But either way, 5 red lights. And we're going to get underway for the Singapore Grand Prix. Trying to pick up some traction here. Not the best of starts. Going to start on the dirty part of the circuit. Kvyat had an absolute stonker as he goes around my outside into turn 1. We drop down a position from the start of the race, which is going to allow Hamilton to try and streak away in the distance. So not a good start here so far, but you can really notice the marbles in the dirty part of the circuit really sort of just compromising my traction through there, and Kvyat just got a great drive through the corner. So so far not the best start, but it definitely could have been worse. We could have been tangled up in an incident, so not too bad. But we're going to try and make a move on Kvyat here fairly swiftly to not lose too much time. Hamilton's already streaking away in the distance, so we can't afford to lose any more time behind Kvyat. So I'm going to try and set myself up here for a move on this main straight, which is the main overtaking opportunity around this track. Just got to try and pick up some good traction, which I have, and we're now going to try and slipstream the Russian. And here we go. Look at the speed we've got in the Ferrari. We're just going to go around the outside, which will become the inside for the braking zone. We just got to take the inside line, and there we go. We're up into P2, and we can now go after Lewis Hamilton. Lewis, that's the fastest lap, 1:44.9. What's my response? Am I faster than him? And the answer is no, I'm miles off his pace, but I did have to overtake Kvyat that lap, so let's see what we can do on this lap. Now we've got no traffic ahead of us. Oh, safety car, so that was Alonso just went out of the race a moment ago, so it looks like Alonso going out of the race has triggered a safety car. So I'm trying to think, what do we do for strategy here? Right, so we're going to come in for a set of super softs. I've decided to change the strategy, and hopefully this works for us. I'm just going to take it nice and easy into the pit lane there. But I sort of just I can't seem to do live commentary whilst talking over a safety car period. I get really confused. So you might have seen an abrupt cut because I just can't talk and think of strategy at the same time. I can do live commentary, but I can't do it whilst I'm thinking of strategy, especially when I was so close to the pit. So I just had to stop talking and just actually think of something, because otherwise I'm throwing this race just out the window. So as you can see, we've gone into a set of super softs now, and we're going to rejoin in the back of the pack here, actually right in the middle of the pack. If we can just come out ahead of Palmer, that'd be nice, but it's going to be quite tricky. Palmer's just on the outside here, but we are actually going to get ahead of him. So P12 on a set of super softs, not too bad. Me and Hamilton are right in the shuffle, so we have to get past some cars. That's good news for us, but it gives me a chance to get past Hamilton, because me and his pace were literally identical. Our pace was so equally matched, so we've got a chance now to overtake Lewis Hamilton. Okay, so the safety car's coming in this lap now. It's been 3 laps under the safety car, the longest 3 laps of my life, but there's been a couple of more people who've done a pit stop, so that's promoted us up into P9. But it's Verstappen who's holding up the pack, and we're going to get underway very soon for the restart, and I think we're going to get moving as soon as Verstappen decides to pull away at the front. Hamilton's in second place, so he's much higher up than what I expected, but now the Red Bulls are right into the fray. Also Nico Rosberg on the super soft, so it's going to be interesting here strategy-wise until the end of the race. But we are in rich mix, we've got so much fuel saved up, and we should be absolutely fine to run rich until at least the end of the race. So we're just going to push now on these fresh super softs in rich mix, and let's see how much damage we can do on this AI and try and make some inroads and try and catch Lewis Hamilton. Oh, we've got a couple of cars in the pits. It's Gutierrez and Rosberg, Ricciardo and Sainz who put off into the pit lane. So quite a lot of cars coming in there, and I think it's only Hamilton and Verstappen who are staying out. Meanwhile, Grosjean's attacking my teammate into turn 1, so I'm just going to try and pace myself here, try and wait for the moment, which could be now, as I swoop back through that corner, picking up some good traction. Both of these guys are on used super softs, so this should be a move that I should be able to pull off fairly easily if I can just time it right, which I have done here, as I pick up a great run through the right-hander there, and some great traction on the exit, and we fly past the pair of them now as we make our way on the back straight. Grosjean's trying to pick up some slipstream here, but I think he's a bit too far back to make a move on me, and it looks like we are stuck into third place now, and we can try and hunt down Lewis Hamilton. First and best lap of the race, but Hamilton's got past Verstappen, and at the moment he's pulling away from him. I'm trying to get past Verstappen as soon as I can, but I just think Hamilton's just a bit too quick around here, and I don't feel like I've really got the pace. I look really good all weekend, but in race trim I just seem to be struggling. The car just seems to be understeering, and I can say the same for Raikkonen, who's just been passed by Grosjean, and Grosjean's keeping ahead of him, so maybe the race pace in the Ferrari is not as good around here as I actually thought. Right, Verstappen peels off into the pit lane. Honestly, I was not really catching him. I was about matching him for pace, and Lewis Hamilton is just way too quick for me at the moment, so we're not really going anywhere on these super softs. Right, Hamilton's in the pit lane, so that's an early stop, so surely he's going to go into a soft tyre, because that's too much to do for a set of ultra softs, whereas I'm trying to stay out to put on a set of ultra softs at the end. So if Hamilton does go into a soft, that's going to be the opening that I need to try and hunt him down. So let's just keep an eye on the top left hand corner to see what tyre he goes on, but hopefully if it is a soft, then that'd be great for us. I mean, even if it's another ultra soft, or sorry, super soft, which it looks like it is the case, even if it's another super soft, that's absolutely fine, because if I'm going to go on the ultra soft, I can make that work and try and hunt him down. Alright, here we go then, coming into the pit lane. You've got to make sure that we push this as much as I possibly can, as we get a pretty nice bit of speed. Now you've got to slow it all down for the pit entry. There we go, we just slow it down and get it absolutely perfect on our marks. Lewis Hamilton's pretty quick on those super softs. I've got no super softs left, so that's why I've had to drag out a few more laps to go into the ultra soft, because there was no way I was going to use a soft tyre, because I'm basically giving Hamilton the win and I want to try and fight him at least. So as you can see, Hamilton's going to fly past right about now. Now the question is, I think I'm actually going to come out behind Verstappen also. Now that's not exactly ideal, but unfortunately I think that's how things are going to pan out. Let's just see where Verstappen is, and there he is. He's just got past us. He's not on the mini-map, but that's Verstappen right there. So we've got to try and get past two cars on these ultra softs, so it's going to be a pretty tall order for the final stint of the race. Right, I'm all over the back of Verstappen. He's going very slow on those soft tyres. I'm going to try and pick him off quite easily here on the pit straight. As soon as we get DRS enabled, which we have done, fastest lap of the race, I want to try and pick him off straight away by going up the inside of turn 1 here. Make sure we get a nice easy move done. There we go, into second place. And so far, our pace is really good. So we can just keep this up. And we need to try and keep our tyres and not wear them out, but at the same time we can push as hard as we can. So it's a very fine line here, but if we can make this work, we can still catch Hamilton. Decent pace, still keeping it up, just got to keep doing these fastest laps. We are getting closer, lap by lap. We're just shaving away, just chipping away at Hamilton's lead. He's right there, we are catching. So a little bit of a sit rep, 1.7. I'm catching, but the gap's starting to really sort of stabilise a bit, and I'm starting to struggle to catch Hamilton now because he's so consistent, and my ultra softs are starting to get a little bit second hand now. I'm just trying to get within DRS. Once I get DRS zone, I should be okay, but I'm running out of grip on these ultra softs. 1.2, I'm just outside of DRS. Here we go, 2 more laps to go. I'm just outside of a second, sorry. Hamilton's right there. Okay, on to the last lap, and we do have DRS on Lewis Hamilton. So here we go then, this is it, this is the last lap, now or nothing. Here we go, through the Anderson Bridge. I've got all out of shape through there, which hasn't helped. And Hamilton's got enough of a cushion to stay ahead for now as we enter the final sector. Now, I've got to try and pass Hamilton in one of these corners. That's the only hope I've got to try and win this race. But my rear tyres are screaming at me as we go into the final sector. Can we try and make anything work here? We clipped the wall, but we're still right on Hamilton's chuff. Can we make the move here anytime soon? Come on, come on. Pick up the traction. Let's try and find a spot through here. This is where I'm really quick. This is where my car works the best. As we go through the final couple of corners now. Back end, please work with me one more time. We get a great run through there. All over the back of Hamilton. Pick up the traction through here. Come on. One more corner to go. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to try my best. Launch myself at the final corner. And I can't make it work. Hamilton comes through. He wins the Singapore Grand Prix. And I come through for P2. And overall, I think a result that I'm quite pleased with. Just a shame we couldn't nick it right in the end there. But the strategy call really worked in the end. Going on those super softs. Sorry, those ultra softs really helped out. But we just didn't have the pace to get past Lewis Hamilton, and he was the better driver on the day. So fair play to Lewis, and he wins for the first time in quite a while actually. So overall, a pretty solid race for him. We drop a few points in the championship, but that's okay because we've got a nice healthy lead in the Drivers' Championship anyway. So overall, a solid race, and I think a well-earned 18 points. You know, we qualified P2 and we finished P2. At the end of the day, Hamilton was just a bit too fast for us today, so not really anything we could do. And we're actually slipping behind the development race. Red Bull are on par with Mercedes, sorry. So we've actually dropped back quite a bit, so I'm going to try and bring an upgrade for the next race in Malaysia. So hopefully we can bring another little upgrade there and try and improve the car a little bit more. But overall, that was the Singapore Grand Prix, and we're now going to move into the final race results to see how things shaped up after a pretty long race. I'm not going to lie, I'm absolutely sweating after that. But as you can see, looking at the top 10 after the race ended, Pascal Wehrlein finished in P7. That's the first thing I'm seeing. And Rio Haryanto in P11. So a fantastic result for the Manor team there. But Wehrlein getting a fantastic P7 there. And also both of the Force Indians way up in 4th and 6th. So overall, a pretty incredible top 10 there, with also Jenson Button and Marcus Ericsson getting points. So obviously there's quite a few retirements this race. And as you can see, we've got a disqualification, and the likes of Raikkonen, Gutierrez, Rosberg and Ricciardo and Grosjean all retiring. So a very interesting top 10. But overall, that was the Singapore Grand Prix. And as we move into the drivers' standings, you can see that we're 37 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. It is looking like it's me versus Hamilton for the World Drivers' Championship this season. And also finally looking at the constructors, you can see that we're 22 points behind Mercedes. So a little bit of work to do there in the constructors. But overall, a pretty solid race here at Singapore, and one that I actually quite enjoyed. Even though there wasn't a lot of action, there was a lot of concentration and sweating going on to try and catch Lewis Hamilton. And overall, a really solid race. But nevertheless, we're going to now move into the final part of the video. So there we have it then, that was the Singapore Grand Prix, and overall a pretty interesting race. I actually quite enjoyed really sweating at those lap times, but overall it was a pretty boring race and not the most incredible amount of action, and we just fell short from Lewis Hamilton, very similar to the real life race where Ricciardo just fell short of Rosberg in real life. But as you can see, the good news is after that race we managed to win the driver rivalry for the first time, I think, in a long time since we was a Haas driver. So we've managed to beat Daniel Ricciardo at the 4th time of asking, so hopefully we might get a new rival in the next race. But as you can see, we re-established our status as the #1 driver, and I want to move on to this screen here because for the next race in Malaysia we're going to bring yet another engine upgrade. I had just enough resource points to get one upgrade, and I thought, you know what, why not, let's just go for it and let's get the engine upgrade. And you also get a chance to see there how far ahead Red Bull actually got, and they're literally on par with Mercedes. But nevertheless guys, hopefully you did enjoy the video, and if you did then please do leave a massive thumbs up on the video. It lets me know that you're enjoying the series, and also if you're new on here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, that's about for this video guys, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. So thanks a lot for your time, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.